Ladies and gentlemen, I have not but one, but two episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 to bless you with today with some reviews. Now, this is a thing that's been out for a while now. Like, I've actually already talked about the opening and ending, but just to, like, sort of, like, ferment if you didn't see them, like, we got a new opening, new ending, although new ending didn't get visuals yet to it because it was showing off the trailer of the new movie stuff, but I still gotta cement my feelings that I think this is my, like, second least favourite, like, Arc 5 opening so far. Like, I think it's cool, but the lyrics kind of cemented exactly everything I said in the fucking, like, live reaction where I'm like, oh, this starts off really grim, and the lyrics continue to get really grim, and then it's like, oh, suddenly, oh, smiles, love, like, I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, I'm into it. And then also as well, the ending is, like, the ending is my favourite. Like, I think that's my favourite Arc 5 ending so far, compared to, like, the last one was really nice and upbeat and chuckly and all that. Now, here's the thing. I love episode 99 of this, and we're going to go straight into that one because everyone's fucking invading, like, Roger's, like, there, trying to get into this shit, and, like, I love that, like, Roger, when he just got his ass handed to him by, like, Reggie, and it's just like, oh, by the way, never mind, because he found a way to overcome, like, the entire, like, that giant, like, ancient gear devil thing by, like, using, like, he was able to, like, synchro summon, he was able to also, as well, like, bring out fusion without using fusion cards, and I believe, like, I believe it was Alexander, like, it was the one that he actually brought out, and, like, Beowulf, were the ones that he kind of brought out, and he's like, yeah, by the way, he negates it, like, the effects, so he like, it doesn't destroy it by negating, because I was thinking, like, there are plenty of ways to get around this thing. It's like, you can either just negate the effect, or that, or the monster, or you can banish it, because that isn't destroying, and it's like, there's quite a few ways to work around this, and he immediately did it, and then he, like, I believe Beowulf has piercing damage, and he just got, like, the others to, like, just fucking curb stomp him, and it was like, oh, there we go, this guy was really something, and he, like, smashes into the wall, he's like, no, impossible, and then he's like, lol, I'm an immortal, by the way, and I'm like, wait, what? It's, oh, I'm just gonna come back in 2000, like, I said, no, there's gotta be some shit here. Why exactly would he put him in this room exactly, coming into this stuff, and he's like, oh, you can never beat me, this is an eternal duel, like that. It's like, this is the, I can't believe this is the way that he actually beat, like, instead of, like, actually having, like, a formidable opponent, like, when he was going against the ninja and Sora, it was just like, no, he just dragged the fight on so fucking long in the end that he just happened to just get, oh, like, he had the luck of the draw and just getting this, like, certain combo out, and it's like, they couldn't do anything. Mind you, though, with the whole intrusion thing, I feel like, wouldn't it just add up a little bit more to, like, Sora and, like, kind of, like, Tsuchikage's side? Because, like, pretty much at the end of it, it's like, oh, I've got a full field of monsters then, that's alright. Like, you know, and spells and traps, it's like, I don't know, it just seems a little bit silly, but of course I can't work in it. And then even when they get in there, like, Yuya and everyone gets in there, he reveals, like, the shocking truth that he's, like, the son of Akame, and everyone's like, yo, what the fuck? And he's like, the plan was from here, it's like, you know, his father and all that, he's supposed to take, obviously, the Vanguard, you know, the fusion dimension and the XE dimension, whilst on his side and all that, he's supposed to Vanguard the standard dimension, and then also as well, he's supposed to take over the synchro dimension for him, and he's like trying to pull the shit, and he's like, no, like, he's like, yo, that's cool and bullshit, I trust this man, I think he's cool. I think originally that's what the plan was, but then he was like, no, Dad, you're a dick, like, I genuinely don't like you. And then he then came around for the Eternal Duel because he get, like, I believe it was like the DDD Alexander, I believe it was like 2700, like, and with the pendulum cards there, with the two philosophers, like that, like, he's just able to, like, special summon her, then they both get destroyed, and then it kind of worked, and then you destroy that, like, you return that card to the hand, activate a continuous trap card that deals the defense cards. Once that goes back to the hand, you can bring out the pendulums, and it can just keep working and working anytime, like, he comes back in, or, like, anyone tries to, like, start duel. It's like, okay, since he always has to start off with, like, 2,000 life points, and then it's like 2,000, like, you know, that kind of works, actually. It's like, oh, so every time he tries to, like, butt into the duel, he's just gonna lose straight away. So yeah, it's like, you're just gonna have to surrender at a point. And then you find out, oh, he wasn't immortal all alone, he was just up there on that tower being a dick, like that, and it's got Yuzu, it's like, generally running away and seeing fucking Jack Atlas and, like, Crow just there, I gotta say, like, the being, like, the people's champion, like, Jack and all that, well, he used to be, like, just absolute power flame Roger, and he's like, oh shit, I hate Yuzu too, and I'm like, mate, do not use your eyes, boys, you just need to kill the girl. And it's like, you know, and this is honestly the best part of the episode, right here. It's honestly absolutely adorable. It's absolutely sweet when, like, Yuya rescues her, gets on the hippo, he's like, yo, let's bounce like that, and then he's on her, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, there are bits where I'm thinking, they're pretty close to kissing right now, I'm not even gonna lie, like, them like holding each other and they were absolutely crying. I thought that was generally like one of my favorite parts. I love like kind of like the relationship between like Yuzu and like Yuya, because it's like it's a lot more shown and a lot more obvious than what it was in like the other series like that. I think 5Ds was kind of more the closer one. Like it was pretty much hinted most of the time as well when it came to like GX with like, you know, with Jaden and Alexis, and obviously that other guy had a crush on him but like for a while, but he was like, no, fuck that shit. And like that with also Akiza and Yusei, there was that little part, but like, and I mean, he did have that kind of, I've seen the pathetic clip, it's like, oh yeah, I love you, like, humor from like fucking Zial, and like, that's really nothing, just holding hands and flying off shit. Like, but it's like, it's really just shown more in this series, especially that, like, these two really do care for each other, and I'm just saying, it might be nice, of course it's a children's fucking card game, so we never get to see this shit, but it would be nice to actually see a relationship, you know, coming off from some of these characters. Would be actually very nice if they actually did that at the end, but don't know if they'll do that. And then Roger just being like, no, fuck you, like that, and he's just like, I'm gonna activate a wormhole, and it's just gonna tear this place apart, and somehow tears the building, but everything else is fine. I'm like, and it just stops. And it's like, oh, Roger fell into it, and he's like, oh, this didn't go down too well, because I'm just going to take you guys with me, but instead I took myself down. It's like, whoops. And then it starts activating again, and happens just to it takes Yuzu at first, and then it takes Yuya, it takes Gongenzaka, Sawatari, and it also as well takes Kurosaki. I do like that they were all trying to hold on. They were like grabbing him, and then it's like, yeah, you couldn't really stop like physics and stuff like that. That's kind of near impossible with just brute strength, to be fair. Like going into that. And that's pretty much how the first episode like rounds up in this double bill. I'm like, all right, we're already in the XYZ dimension, and I'm like Heartland, and it's like, I am sorry, I feel so bad saying this, but it's like, I know you're supposed to feel bad for Heartland being like all torn up and stuff, but I generally didn't like Zial that much and all that. Like, I was generally smiling. So I'm like, oh, Heartland's destroyed, oh, that's a nice thing to say. But that's the thing, is like this is a different Heartland though, so it hasn't got Yumi and shit like that. I'd be like, oh, fuck it, hadn't it? I mean, from what we've seen, like, it seems like we're pretty much done with with the synchro dimension, so we didn't exactly see a Yusei in there, and since they're different timeline, and it's like, you know, weird shit with that in different dimensions, it's like, it's a shame that we never saw Yusei. It would be nice if we saw him at the end or something like that, because we find, like, this is the thing, the second episode, I kind of love with the whole setup thing, finding out with the families that, like, they're generally terrified with all this stuff. The thing that kind of, like, I'm a little bit upset about was that it was generally half a recap episode, and it was like, I'm fine with you recapping stuff from the start of the series, from midway, even a tiny bit of the synchro, but don't recap stuff that we just saw like 10 minutes ago. Like, just don't do that. Like that, I feel like that was a little bit silly, and I feel like they kind of ran out of time. Like, I feel like they were saying, like, maybe they was just like, oh shit. And I feel like it would have worked a little bit better, maybe if we didn't get both these episodes in double bill. But it was, I guess it was kind of needed to, like, if people are like, oh, by the way, we're starting the new arc, and it's like, hey, this is what happened. I don't know why would anyone just click onto randomly on episode 100 if they've only seen like 20 episodes or something. But hey-oh, and like that is there for people that do want to know, like, a quick rundown of what's going down. Then they we don't really get to see the jewel, but there was like 3 academia punks coming out there, and we find out kind of where the name of the whole thing is, and it's the ARC project. I'm like, wow, so that's pretty much with every series. Obviously the Zial is kind of very important and all that, because that's something, you know, that's Yuma's power. Then you get into the ARC, which is the ARC project. 5Ds obviously represents the 5 dragons. Yu-Gi-Oh is obviously with the transformation when he turns into the Pharaoh. And GX also being Generation X, which, you know, symbolizes like all the characters like being the next generation of duelists and, you know, the next Sadius and what have you. So it's like, alright, like, we finally get the name of that, which is like, that's the best part of the episode, apart from the last scene, which people know what I was really excited about, because those academia punks get fucking curb stomped, and then comes out Kaito. Kaito, now, if people ever saw those Zial reviews I ever did, I always said, like, Kaito is the best part of the show, and he still was the best part of the show, because it was like, you know, is you going to introduce the big rival, like, you know, Kaiba kind of character, which, you know, he was pretty much at the start? they make him badass, make him have some cool moments, and not to mention as well, I love his deck. It's one of the decks I will still try to use to this day. If I'm ever going to use a Zial deck and all that, I will only use like that, and I'll maybe want to use the Zial weapons like that, but it's like, he was genuinely the only character I really liked in that show, so I'm like, okay, that's great that they're bringing him back. He's a badass, and then you see galaxy eyes behind him. I'm sorry, I was marking out that part of the episode. I was like, okay, galaxy's eyes here. Now it's cool and all that. We saw like more black wings and stuff like that, and I love black wings. They were like my favorite cards in like the whole synchro stuff. But now, like galaxy eyes, I'm like, yo, everything's putting on the table right now. I need some more Galaxy Eyes support. I need some more, like, let it have some real good stuff so Galaxy Eyes become real good. And I want to see it's like, it's exactly like, because with the whole Galaxy Eyes effect was taking XZ material from him, and it was a brute force, like, also, so I'm wondering like how Galaxy Eye is also going to combat like with the fusion dimension, obviously with like Academia, that they focus on fusion monsters and like, you know, obviously synchros. I'm kind of interested in like how they're really going to counteract them, or if they're still just going to be heavily XE based and saying no, we screw up like XE cards and all that. So I'm kind of curious to see what the new what all these dragons and all that they can do. I want to see what the new Galaxy Eyes like dragon can do. I want to see what the other Galaxy cards can do and the Photon. So I am looking forward to seeing what other cards he does have out of his sleeve. Honestly, the first episode was great. They had one of my favorite moments in like the whole show, actually, with the whole Yuzu and like Yuya reuniting part, and like there was some really cool moments. Like Akame, like Reiji just absolutely dominating Roger and making like the Eternal Jewel like it's nothing like that. I love that part. Like I think like if we're gonna get a score to anything like that, I'd say the episode 99 gets probably like an 8.5 to like near 9. I thought that was a really good episode and like kind of set up some suspense. The second episode has some really cool moments in it, but it's like that's only because I like Zial. Like I only like the Zial part of Kaito, and like I hate Zial in any other way. I hate the main character. I don't like the environment. I don't like any I don't like 90% of the cast apart from some of the Barians like that. It's like I shouldn't root for the bad guys like for this show, and it's like this is when we're coming into this stuff. It's like it was the one that really put me off Yu-Gi-Oh for a while, and it was like I struggled with myself pretty much going through like 5Ds once they went into the Synchro Years, where they were called, and I didn't even finish that. And then even with like, you know, coming with Ziao, I didn't even really finish the last arc of that really, and I heard that got better, but it's like, coming from there I was like, I shouldn't be smiling when I see Heartland destroyed. It's like, oh well, like different dimension, different characters, so I am looking forward to seeing what exactly this Kaito story is going to be, and if there is a relation between him and Kurosaki, because like, it's like he seems like he's part of the resistance, and since the resistance is destroyed in like at this time now, and it's like I wonder if he's just kind of like the last like vanguard, the last defense of everything. So I look forward to it. I would say though that the other episode was 5. I think it was an average episode. Honestly, it would have been worse if it was like just a recap all the way, but there was some really good moments in it. It's a shame that you didn't get to see like Yuya, Gogen, Zaka, and Sawatari duel. But like, here's hoping like we find Yuzu again. I hope she's just not another huge plot device like coming into that. So I'm like, I really don't hope she's like captured by the dickhead of this dimension like that. I hope we don't have Roger 2.0 on this. But if you love Yu-Gi-Oh as much as I do, then you hit that like and you hit that subscribe and all that. I'm very excited to talk about more about these Galaxy Eyes once they come out. But that is all from me. So thank you much for watching as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.